He said he loved her, but something about it wasn't right. She trusted him. He was family. After all, he was the king's son, and in a palace where power meant everything, no one expected what would happen next. And it came to pass that Amnon, the son of David, loved Tamar. 2 Samuel 13:1. It looked like love. It sounded like love, but it wasn't. And by the time the truth came out, it was already too late. The palace was full of life, servants moving in and out, guards at every entrance, royal sons and daughters growing up under the same roof, but living very different lives. From the outside, it looked perfect. A king chosen by God, a strong kingdom, a family blessed with everything most people could only dream of. But inside, things weren't as steady as they seemed. Among David's sons was Amnon. He was the firstborn, the one people expected to carry weight, the one who had position, authority, and attention. And yet, something in him wasn't right. It started quietly, not with action, but with a thought, a feeling he didn't control, or maybe didn't try to. His eyes began to linger where they shouldn't. His thoughts began to settle where they didn't belong. And the person at the center of it all was Tamar. She was his sister, beautiful, gentle, and respected, not just because of her position, but because of who she was. There was a grace about her, the kind that made people speak well of her even when she wasn't in the room. And she was a virgin, and Amnon thought it hard for him to do anything to her. 2 Samuel 13:2. To Tamar, life was simple. She moved within the palace with innocence, with trust. She didn't see danger where it hadn't shown itself. She didn't expect it from someone so close to her, from someone she called family. But Amnon was changing. What began as a thought became an obsession. He couldn't focus, couldn't rest, couldn't let it go. It consumed him slowly, then completely. And Amnon was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar. 2 Samuel 13:2. He stopped eating properly, stopped acting like himself. What people saw as sickness was something deeper, a desire he refused to confront, a line he knew was there, but kept walking toward anyway. And in moments like that, a person either steps back or finds a way forward. Amnon didn't step back, and that's when someone else noticed. Jonadab, his cousin, sharp, observant, the kind of person who understood people quickly, but didn't always guide them the right way. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab. 2 Samuel 13:3. He saw the change in Amnon, the weight on him, the frustration, and instead of questioning it, he leaned into it. "Why are you like this?" he asked. "You're the king's son. Why do you look so troubled every day?" Amnon hesitated at first, but when someone keeps asking, eventually the truth comes out. And he said it. "I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister." There it was, out in the open, not corrected, not challenged, not stopped. And Jonadab didn't tell him to walk away. He didn't remind him of what was right. He didn't pull him back from the edge. Instead, he gave him a way forward, a plan. "Lay thee down on your bed and make thyself sick." 2 Samuel 13:5. Simple, deceptive, effective. Pretend to be ill, make it serious, make it believable. And when the king comes, ask for Tamar. Ask for her to come and take care of you. Innocent on the surface, dangerous underneath. And Amnon listened. That was the moment everything shifted. He had a choice to stop, to walk away, to fight what he knew wasn't right. But instead, he chose to act on it. He lay down. He made himself look weak, sick, helpless, and word reached the king. David came to see him, a father concerned for his son, not knowing what was really behind it all. And David came to see him. 2 Samuel 13:6. Amnon spoke carefully, playing his part. "Let Tamar come," he said. "Let her make food for me, so I can eat from her hand." It sounded harmless. It sounded simple. And David trusted him. He saw a sick son, a simple request, and he agreed. Then David sent home to Tamar, saying, "Go now to thy brother Amnon's house, and dress him meat." 2 Samuel 13:7. And just like that, Tamar was sent. Without question, without warning, she went the way she always did, trusting, obedient, unaware. There was no fear in her, no hesitation. She walked into that moment, believing everything was as it should be. But it wasn't, and every step she took toward that room was a step into something she never expected, something that would change everything, not just for her, but for the entire house of David. If you want to see what happens next, how deception turns into something far worse, subscribe now, because the next part is where everything breaks. Tamar didn't hesitate when she was called. In her mind, this was simple. Her father had asked something of her, and her brother, her own brother, was unwell. There was no reason to question it, no reason to be afraid. So she went. She stepped into Amnon's house with the same quiet grace she always carried, her movements calm, her heart open, unaware of what was waiting behind that door. Amnon was lying down just as planned, weak, silent, playing the part perfectly. Servants moved around, but he barely acknowledged them. All of it carefully arranged. When Tamar entered, she got to work immediately. No suspicion, no delay. She prepared the food right there in front of him. So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he was laid down. 2 Samuel 13:8. She mixed the dough, cooked it carefully, the way someone would for a sick loved one. There was care in what she did, genuine care. She brought the food closer to him, expecting him to eat. But Amnon didn't move, not the way she expected. Instead, he looked around, and then he changed the moment. "Send everyone out," he said. And Amnon said unto him, "Have out all men from me." And they went out every man from him. 2 Samuel 13:9. One by one the servants left. The room grew quiet. To Tamar it may have seemed like he wanted privacy, to eat in peace, to recover. But something had shifted, and now they were alone. She brought the food closer again, trying to help him. "Come, eat," she said gently. And Amnon said unto Tamar, "Bring the meat into the chamber, that I may eat of thine hand." 2 Samuel 13:10. She followed him into the inner room, still trusting, still unaware, and then everything changed. The moment the door closed behind them, Amnon dropped the act. There was no weakness any more, no sickness, no hesitation. He reached for her, and when she had brought them unto him to eat, he took hold of her. 2 Samuel 13:11. Tamar froze, not out of confusion, but shock. This wasn't right. This wasn't normal. This wasn't what she had walked into. She pulled back immediately, her voice firm, not angry, but pleading, logical. "No," she said, "don't do this." "Nay, my brother, do not force me." 2 Samuel 13:12. She reminded him of everything that mattered: honor, family, right and wrong. "This isn't done in Israel. Don't do this foolish thing. For no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not thou do this folly." 2 Samuel 13:12. She wasn't just protecting herself. She was trying to reach him, to pull him back, to remind him of who he was and what this would mean. But Amnon wasn't listening. The obsession that had been building in him for so long had taken over. He wasn't thinking about consequences. He wasn't thinking about her. He wasn't thinking at all. He just wanted what he had already decided he would take. She tried again, desperate now, not out of fear alone, but out of hope that he might still stop.
"Speak to the king," she said. "He won't refuse you. Now therefore, I pray thee, speak to the king, for he will not withhold me from thee." 2 Samuel 13:13. She was trying to give him another way, an exit, a moment to think, but he didn't take it. He refused to listen. Howbeit he would not hearken unto her voice. 2 Samuel 13:14. And in that moment the line was crossed, not just physically, but morally, spiritually, completely. What he thought was love was never love, and when it was over, everything shifted again, but not in the way he expected, not satisfaction, not peace, but something else. Then Amnon hated her exceedingly. 2 Samuel 13:15. The same person he claimed to love he now couldn't stand. The feeling turned cold, harsh, rejecting. The room that had once held tension now held something worse, silence. And Tamar felt it, the change, the distance, the cruelty in it. She stood there, no longer just shocked, but wounded, deeply, not just by what happened, but by what followed. Amnon didn't try to fix it. He didn't show regret. He didn't even try to understand the damage. Instead, he wanted her gone. "Get up," he said. "Leave." And Amnon said unto her, "Arise, be gone." 2 Samuel 13:15. Tamar looked at him, hurt, confused. This made it worse. This wasn't just wrong. It was cruel. "No," she said quietly. "Sending me away like this is worse than what you've already done. There is no cause. This evil in sending me away is greater than the other." 2 Samuel 13:16. But again he didn't listen. He called his servant, opened the door, and made it final. "Put her out," he said, "and lock the door behind her. Put now this woman out from me, and bolt the door after her." 2 Samuel 13:17. And just like that, she was outside, the door shut behind her, cut off, not just from the room, but from everything that had been normal before. Tamar stood there, trying to process it, all of it, and then she did something that said more than words ever could. She tore her garment, and Tamar put ashes on her head and rent her garment of divers colors. 2 Samuel 13:19. The robe she wore, the one that showed her place, her purity, she tore it. She put ashes on her head, a sign of grief, a sign of something broken, and then she walked, not quietly, not hiding it, but openly, crying as she went, and laid her hand on her head, and went on crying. 2 Samuel 13:19. What happened in that room didn't stay there. It moved with her. It showed in her. It became something everyone would soon know. And just like that, everything changed.
Tamar didn't hide what had happened. She couldn't, even if she wanted to. The pain was too visible. The torn garment, the ashes on her head, the way she cried as she walked. It told the story without needing words. And someone saw her. Absalom, her brother. He looked at her once and knew something was wrong. Not small, wrong in a way that couldn't be ignored. He stepped closer, his voice low, controlled, but there was something under it. "Has Amnon been with you?" And Absalom, her brother, said unto her, "Hath Amnon thy brother been with thee?" 2 Samuel 13:20. Tamar didn't need to answer. The silence said enough, and Absalom understood immediately. But instead of reacting loudly, he did something unexpected. He held it in. "Hold now thy peace," he said. "He is your brother. Hold now thy peace, my sister. He is thy brother. Regard not this thing." 2 Samuel 13:20. It sounded like comfort, but it wasn't healing. It was quiet control. Because Absalom wasn't letting it go. He was waiting. And Tamar was left to carry it. She went to live in Absalom's house, but the text says something that sits heavy. So Tamar remained desolate in her brother Absalom's house. 2 Samuel 13:20. Desolate, not just hurt, not just grieving, but empty. What was taken from her wasn't just a moment, it changed her life. And while she sat in that pain, others responded differently. When King David heard about it, he was angry. But when King David heard of all these things, he was very wroth. 2 Samuel 13:21. Angry, but that was it. No action, no justice, no correction. And sometimes silence from the one who should act creates something worse. Because Absalom saw it. He saw the anger with no action, and he made a decision of his own. And Absalom spake unto his brother Amnon neither good nor bad. 2 Samuel 13:22. He didn't confront him, he didn't argue, he didn't warn him. He just waited. 2 full years. 2 years of silence, 2 years of carrying that anger. And then he made his move. He prepared a feast, a gathering, a normal event, something no one would question. And he invited everyone, including Amnon. At first, David hesitated, but eventually, Amnon went. He walked into that moment, unaware of what had been building for 2 years. And when the time was right, Absalom gave the order, "Smite Amnon, then kill him." 2 Samuel 13:28. It happened quickly, no warning, no escape, and just like that, Amnon was gone. What started as hidden desire ended in death. The rest of the king's sons fled, panic spread. News reached David, and it hit hard. Not just loss, but the weight of everything that led to it. This wasn't just a tragedy, it was a chain. One action leading to another, and another, and another. And at the center of it all was a moment that could have been stopped, a choice that could have been resisted, a voice that could have been listened to. And Tamar was still there, still carrying what happened, still living with the consequences of someone else's decision. The story doesn't wrap up clean. It doesn't end with everything fixed, because some things leave marks, and that's the truth this story leaves you with. Not every desire should be followed. Not every feeling is right. And when people choose wrong, others often carry the damage. And maybe the hardest part is this: silence can be just as dangerous as the act itself. When the right thing isn't done, when justice is delayed, when people stay quiet, it creates space for something worse to grow. So the question becomes simple. What do you do when you know something is wrong? Do you ignore it? Do you stay silent? Or do you act before it becomes something you can't undo? If this story made you think, subscribe for more real Bible stories told like this.